All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Tuesday afternoon, as is with every Tuesday. Post Traders Talk edition here of our afternoon meeting, November 7th. Great to see all of our students and members alike live inside our live trading room. John, Rod, Lawrence had Leda just before, Kathleen, Roger as well. Actually, a packed house today this afternoon. Typically, as is the case with a Tuesday, right? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, kind of more the quote unquote hump days of the week. Obviously, we're still in earnings season. Uber had earnings last night into this morning. Were they? No, wait. Were they last night? I got that tripped up. They were this morning, weren't they? I'm losing track of all my earnings. But, either way, we were reacting to Uber's earnings heading into the open this morning. Led to a nice little slingshot. I will talk about Uber here for a little bit, but let's just jump to the market in just a moment from there. So Uber heading into the morning here ended up making a nice little drop off, not just after the market opened up, but like leading into the market open. It was trending downward pretty steadily. So, hey, I'm not going to do the whole education right now. We just came off our workshop earlier. So, hey, we see selling pressure when a stock is trending down. Yes, even off of good news. So it took a little while. It was not perfect. It was not flawless right out the gate. It took a few moments for it to coil up and really begin to build that higher low. So, at 10:30, 10:15 time, it dipped back down to make that higher low. And well, ever since, it has been a phenomenal trade, Uber. So I pushed all the way up towards psychological level, half a century number there at 50. I don't have a notepad. You don't have my webcam up. You can't see me right now. I don't have a notepad here. I'm using my notes app on my iPhone for this one. But Uber, we're going to add to our watch list here heading into the afternoon. Obviously, still looking relatively strong, a lot closer to the highs than it is the lows. Before I jump to the SPY, let's just check in on Lyft, LYFT. Obviously, Lyft, sister stock to the Uber trade. It's moving a little bit, but obviously one is coming off the earnings, one is not coming off earnings, at least so far. So I'm not as inclined to follow Lyft. Just wanted to take a look at it at least. Honestly, that was my first look at Lyft all afternoon, even. So I just kind of popped up in my head for a split second. Now, the SPY, man, it has been a choppy afternoon, but hey, choppy, it's still trending upward, right? So for any one of us that were following the market on the way up today, buying option calls, even earlier, actually coming off Traders Talk. I'm not going to do the whole education like I just said, but I got to slip it in here, just this one, because, one of our students, Kathleen, was asking about the under and over. Well, looking at the VWAP line here on the SPY, this was the first test as support. So, yes, it broke a little lower first, but ultimately, what happened at the VWAP? Under, over, new entry to buy calls. And it has been a phenomenal trade here so far. Just the market, the SPY. Obviously, we're not going to put the SPY on the afternoon watch list at least, but you know what I'll be looking at here heading into the close. Alongside personally with the market, and this is just a grinder of a trade as well, but AMD since the open took off really well. News came out with them. CEO Lisa Su claiming that they could be projecting to make, I think it was $1 billion in revenue off their new chip to be coming out soon. So obviously, you know that we've been a big fan of AMD as a company really for a little while now. I took my eyes off them for like a few weeks because the market was tanking, but at least heading into the end of last week and then obviously the beginning of this, we've been waiting for this melt up within the market, and we have gotten it. So not much to really wait on, but hopefully a lot more to come. With that being said, with stocks like AMD, and you could say the same stocks like DraftKings. DraftKings coming off earnings from Friday last week as well, and it made another big push yesterday. We took it as a swing trade, phenomenal push once again today. I got out of that trade just a little while ago, heading into the mid-afternoon around 1 o'clock Eastern. So pushed up a little bit higher, moved up to 36, but my intent on it, honestly, was to make it a day trade, and that was it. It was so strong heading into yesterday afternoon. I said, all right, let's see what this could do as a swing. And with that, well, we're out now. So I'm going to be back to day trading DraftKings if I decide to trade it going forward. I'm not as inclined to put this one in particular on our afternoon list. We only have Uber on there so far, and obviously we'll add a lot more here as we go from top to bottom just a little bit here. So CDIO stock is up 85% right now. I actually just called it out before because, well, although it popped and dropped already, it technically has been moving up pretty steadily heading into the, afternoon session, dipped down to a low of 95, moved up to a high of like 135. 40-cent move. Come on, that's a pretty solid run. And when you look at the order book, this is as liquid as it gets. So if you want to know, like, hey, why does Josh not put one stock that looks like this on the watch list, but he's going to put this one on? It's all about the liquidity to me. If this had a 10-cent spread, there would be no business on this stock. I am still not confident really in this making the clean higher high to have this back up towards 160, 170. This is basically what we're calling to be the second wind type of move right now. Just given the liquidity, I'm hopeful perhaps to see it continue up a little bit more. Give us another like 15, 20 cents perhaps, maybe more. That would be a nice trade. So for right now, it makes the cut. Perhaps I even come back to this just to make sure at the end. Let me keep it going for right now. Kind of just skim through this gainer side, at least for right now. Long day on the stick here also, but obviously otherwise, we'll see what else is out there here. Now this NVOS, we'd called this out actually after Traders Talk, after we finished up our workshop. And just before I had asked, like, hey, what's everyone watching or trading right now? And one of our students, Kathleen, I think she had wrote back on the NVOS. And yeah, it's been pushing up really well this afternoon entirely. Hey, the gift that keeps on giving. So for right now, we'll definitely add this to our watch list here too. Lost my spot there for a second. I was like, how much is NVOS up again? I had to try and keep my spot there as we go down the gainers list right now. Verve, nice little squeeze from earlier today. Datadog, same thing. DDOG, this is off earnings this morning. OLPX again. I mean, it's definitely a slower move here compared to the morning session. Similar to the CDIO, you can call this the second wind type of move right now too. Given the liquidity, it's not my favorite, but it's not the worst thing I've seen. So, I'll come back to this at the end. Probably find a lot that looks like that, though, that, has good liquidity, that might possibly make a move, maybe. Most of those words I'm not a fan of. So, I like definitively. I like, oh, this really looks nice, things like that. So, if we're not really getting that across this gainers list here at this point, that's fine. We got a few good ones already. Seat. This thing had a nice little run up earlier today. Just liquidity is pretty light. All right. So again, there's actually a lot that's up more percentage-wise, folks. Like number 50 is at 12.5%. So let me know if there's anything looking good from the gainer side. Just, if there's anything I missed. Let's hop over to the losers list, though, here first. Oof, what the hell happened here? Holy smokes. Talk about a run up. I guess a new IPO, this NCL from the end of October, from like $5, like 2 weeks of straight green, all washed away. Not only in one trading day, folks, but this was really all within an hour and a half's time. Big trees fall hard. We don't just say it to say it. Big trees fall hard. Likely at all-time lows, I'm assuming. Pretty close. Back to 2020, COVID here, basically. 480 was the all-time low technically, so pretty darn close. I don't know how much volume this is trading on a per min basis, but I like everything about it otherwise. I'll add this here as a good short. All right. I actually got a lot that's down percentage-wise, but nothing really that stands out like as a name brand company. I kind of skipped ahead to this MLCO because this is one I'm at least somewhat familiar with. Downtrend, down percentage-wise, good book. It's pretty similar to that ADTN, right? Similar characteristics. If I add one, I feel like I'll add the other. I don't have a huge watch list right now, so that's fine. All right, SPY is failing to break higher, folks. Just got to be a little careful for a pullback here heading into the close trade. It is so flat, though, here. That's the issue, right? And actually, where I always scream about having good liquidity, we need to have good liquidity, good spread, good volume. With this being as flat as it is, plus like the brick walls here that are 260, 61, 62, then even it's a lot for it to try and bust over. I'm going to write this down on my side list, though, just so I don't forget about it, maybe even by tomorrow morning. Let's see if this can make some sort of rare pop. It doesn't look like it will, but maybe at 3:15, 3:30 when Rich is on the mic, that could be one to follow up with later on, but we'll keep it on our side list, Rod. Good idea, though. And I'll tell you, I think that's pretty much all I got across the board inside our live trading room and on social media at Cyber Trading U. So let me just jump to Benzinga before I finish up. Uh-oh, we got a pop. And it's on a stock that I already put on the watch list, CDIO. I even said I'd come back to this just to make sure at the end. Well, I think this is the making sure part. Definitely a nice pop higher. Easily, we're going to keep this on our list. So even better now. We got Uber on the way up. We got this definitely busting a move right now, trying to break a higher high, and a few more to book behind it, folks. So, hey, you know what I'm going to say. I say it each and every weekday here. I do the meetings. Start and stick with this watch list, right? There's a reason I'm putting CDIO on the list and other stocks not on the list. So start and stick with what we got. Once we begin to see the stocks fail in the directions they're building here, then that's where we can scrap it, toss it to the wayside, and see if there's anything else out there. And that's likely going to happen around 3:15. So for the next 30 minutes, let's start and stick with this watch list. And Rich will be on the mic just in about 15 or 20 from right now, folks. All right. So from Michael, later, Rod, John, and all of us just here, stay tuned, and we'll resume the commentary in just a little bit. Again, though, for all of us on social media, though, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, etc., on top. Be a friend, tell a friend. Make sure that you are subscribed and up to date by following at Cyber Trading U on all of our social media platforms and streams. There it is right there on the bottom left. But on the top left there, at least, if you're fancy with your phone, scan that QR code just on the stream there. Get your week-long trial inside our live trading room. Join our students, join our instructors, including the man himself, Fausto, especially for tomorrow morning. All right, folks. But again, we'll be on the mic in just a few minutes here. Take care.